I went to Vivec's party the week after he murdered Indoral Nerevar. While everyone was getting trashed, I went around putting tuna inside all the curtain rods. And so like weeks went by and they couldn't figure out why the house kept getting swarmed by feral Khajiit. They caught me through this video where these guys at the party were singing Beyoncé while I was in the background with a can of tuna. I am not crazy. I know they killed Nerevar. I knew it on 1E701, one after Battle of Red Mountain, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never, never. I just couldn't prove it. They covered his tracks, got that Alandro Sul and the Velothi tribes to be discredited. You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? They've done worse. That heart of Lorcan. Are you telling me that mortals just happen to ascend to godhood like that? No. They orchestrated it. Vivec. He penetrated Nerevar with his muatra, and they said he died of wounds from battle. Then the houses gave them their own temple. What were they thinking? They'll never change. They'll never change. Ever since they were mortals, always the same. Couldn't keep their hands off of the heart, but not our false gods. Couldn't be the precious tribunal, stealing the Dunmer blind, and they get to be gods? What a sick joke. Dagoth Ur should have stopped them when he had the chance. And you, Nerevarine, you have to stop them. We had a good thing, you stupid son of a swit. We had the 6th house, we had a Numidium, we had everything we needed, and it all ran like clockwork. You could have shut your mouth, beat the Empire, and made as much drakes as you ever needed. It was perfect. But no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego. You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now. Kill Argonians, behead Argonians, roundhouse kick a Argonian into the concrete, slam dunk a Argonian baby into the trash can, crucify filthy Argonians, defecate in a Argonian's food, launch Argonians into the sun, stir-fry Argonians in a wok, toss Argonians into active volcanoes, urinate into a Argonian's gas tank, judo throw Argonians into a wood chipper, twist Argonians' heads off, report Argonians to the IRS, karate chop Argonians in half, curb stomp pregnant Argonians, trap Argonians in quicksand, crush Argonians in the trash compactor, liquefy Argonians in a vat of acid, eat Argonians, dissect Argonians, exterminate Argonians in the gas chamber, stomp Argonian skulls with steel-toed boots, cremate Argonians in the oven, lobotomize Argonians, mandatory abortions for Argonians, grind Argonian fetuses in the garbage disposal, drown Argonians in fried chicken grease, vaporize Argonians with a ray gun, kick old Argonians down the stairs, feed Argonians to alligators, slice Argonians with a katana. While I can't say that you have never been responsible for helping out the province, you have also created or influenced the vast majority of major threats in the first place. The werewolves only came to Solstheim because of your colony. The same goes for the Dark Brotherhood. You bought a slave and gave her to a tribal chief for an alliance. You plan to destroy the heart. You are a super spreader of the divine disease. You took orders from a shirtless crackhead, joined the mongrel dogs of the Empire to oppress our people, and you killed Uncle Sweetshare, almost ruining new life. The vast majority of this province's problems are caused, at least indirectly, by you. And you know what? In all honesty, that would be fine. You are very intelligent, and you almost always do fix it, and in the end it's extremely unlikely that you won't end up benefiting the world a lot more than you will damage it. But fuck, dude. You can't keep using your magic as a way to escape your humanity. I didn't ask you to say brandy because I thought an ash vampire would seriously care, or because I was insecure. I did it because it made you look weird, and I was trying to get you to adopt behaviors and use language that makes you come across like a normal fucking mer. Everyone knows what distilled alcohol is, but calling it that outside the context of an alchemy class makes you seem like someone who defines themselves solely by their magic, which is undeniably who you are. I know you think that there's nothing wrong with being that person, dude, but there is. Taking your magicka and deciding that it elevates you above the rest of the planet is an awful decision that will lead to a life filled with misery and alienation. It will color every interaction you ever have and make it impossible to have real friends or relationships. I'm not saying that you won't have any, but they won't hold any meaning to you, and they certainly won't bring you any happiness. Sure, you'll probably manage a pity fuck or two after you save the province for the 8th time, but it'll bring you nothing but emptiness. Maybe you'll eventually abandon women altogether and decide that your true love is magic, secretly seething inside whenever you see a guy like Fargoth or Jib getting married to someone he really cares about. Who cares about him? Get out, dude. You're fired. Big McFuckoffs from McDagoffs. Dicks are so cute, OMG. When you hold one in your hand and it starts twitching, it's like it's nuzzling you, or when they perk up and look at you like Owonya. 3 Hey Penis Coon is happy to see me. And the most adorable thing ever is when Sperm Sama comes out, but they're really shy, so you have to work hard. But when Penis Coon and Sperm Sama meet and they're blushing and all like, ooh ah, Penis Coon is so adorable. Please do not announce to the server when you are going to masturbate. This has been a reoccurring issue, and I'm not sure why some people have such underdeveloped social skills that they think that a server full of mostly male strangers would need to know that. No one is going to be impressed and give you a high five, especially considering where that hand has been. I don't want to add this to the rules, since it would be embarrassing for new users to see. I saw Indoral Nerevar at a general store in Mournhold yesterday. I told him how cool it was to meet him in person, but I didn't want to be a douche and bother him and ask him for his friendship or anything. He said, "Oh, like you're doing now?" I was taken aback, and all I could say was, "Huh?" But he kept cutting me off and going, "Huh, huh, huh," and closing his hand shut in front of my face. I walked away and continued with my shopping, and I heard him chuckle as I walked off. When I came to pay for my stuff up front, I saw him trying to walk out the doors with like 15 bottles of skooma in his hands without paying. The girl at the counter was very nice about it and professional and was like, "God killer, you need to pay for those first." At first he kept pretending to be tired and not hear her, but eventually turned back around and brought them to the counter. When she took one of the bottles and started logging it multiple times, he stopped her and told her to log them each individually to prevent any ethereal infeterance, and then turned around and winked at me. I don't even think that's a word. After she logged each bottle and put them in a bag and started to say the price, he kept interrupting her by yawning really loudly. You know that Black Marsh pussy would hit fucking different. First of all, people think of these lizards, not even an accurate term, as savages, when nothing could be further from the truth. They had their own cultures, customs, languages, etc. And they weren't brainless idiots going hiss, hiss, hissus. They were much more intelligent than popular culture portrays them as. I mean, these creatures are the reason we have a civilization. Meaning that, as long as you could get over the scales, teeth, horns, feathers, and the other shit barrier, and if you have a canoe to get you through the rotting shithole swamps, then you probably can, you could theoretically develop relationships with them. Really, they're not so different from today's men in Mur. They just look a lot fucking different and aren't as educated. Practically brain dead compared to Dunmer toddlers. But what they may lack in smarts, but I repeat, not in their savage culture, they make up for in physical ability. To hunt wild Wamasu, they need to be strong, and only the strongest survive. But not just the strongest, the smartest and fastest get favored by evolution as well. And even the Black Marsh women have to be tough. It's hard living in primitive conditions, so they'd be pretty fit. What's more, there's none of the troubles of civilized. They don't worry about rent or the internet or anything. They're pretty much carefree. And reproduction is pretty high up on an egg layer's priorities. You need to make sure the tribe survives, after all. So you bet that they'd be down to smash. You might be fucking a house-dress slave, but that just makes it wilder. And it doesn't count as inbreeding, since they're fucking lizards. Now you may be asking, what about diseases? Surely fucking an Argonian would be unhygienic. Well, once again, you're biased by the mainstream newsletters like the Black Horse Courier into thinking they were unwashed animals. They knew how to take care of their fucking health and hygiene. Plus, they are literally resistant to disease. And you know how I said that they were primitive? Well, they're intelligent enough to adapt. So you could teach your new Argonian concubines to live in a city with actual walls, while still maintaining their culture, which made them unique from other races. Hence why an Argonian chick would be the greatest and craziest fuck of your life. Sweet Nerevar, I wish you'd be my Argonian girlfriend. How about I take my motherfucking goddamn house and chase you down in the middle of the motherfucking ashlands? You're running. You see a bunch of us in black cloaks running towards you. You see me in a gold cloak, big, tall, muscular, evil-ass motherfucker running at you. First, I start off like this because I don't need my full speed to catch you. Then I see you start to speed up, and then I start speeding. Then I just go and I just sick my entire house, and they're just chasing you and running at you like Knicks hounds. In black capes, they tackle you. I tackle you, grab you. I call over Uthal. Uthal comes from behind you. I have all my men ripping off your clothes. Your ass naked in the ash, stuck like this. Just stuck. And I hold you down. You're like, stop, you. And I go, Uthal. I make the snap. Uthal rips off his clothing and flops out his BBC Junior on the fucking right-ass cheek on the left, while all my men hold you down. He just forcefully fucks you and chokes you, and you're like, He just chokes you, busting all over you and just humiliating you, and I command my men to stand around you, ejaculating and busting nuts all over your body while we force you to lay there and choke in the ash. Bitch-ass Nawaz, suck my dick. Thank you for those 14 drakes too, Fetcher.